Hi folks, Chris here. Today I want to talk to you about relapse. Some people never relapse, and some people relapse many times. It's sort of known that among people in recovery that relapse starts long before you ever pick up that first drug. So the question is, why did I pick up that first drug? Why did I relapse when I did? And I have an answer for that question, because I know people are going to be wondering. Well, I was staying clean. I was feeling healthier. I was feeling better, but I wasn't happy all the time. And no one's happy all the time. But I was around people who were smoking weed, and they were talking about it as if they really liked it. They were puffing on it as if they really enjoyed it. And I was thinking I didn't want it, but in the back of my mind, I still thought of it as something that I didn't want to do, but would still be pleasurable if I did do it. And then what happened is I let that get out of control, and I asked someone for a puff, and that started me off again. And the first thing I noticed was it made me sicker than other people. Where other people were coughing, having a harsh cough, I was spitting up phlegm and vomiting. And another thing I noticed is once I started, I didn't want to stop. So I enjoyed my buzz for a couple hours. I played some pool and was having a good time. I don't think I slept all night. I had breakfast in the morning. The next day I felt awful. I felt like nothing would make me feel better except for picking up again. So then I made a deal with someone for $5 to let me smoke on his pipe for a while. But this time, the good feeling only lasted about an hour, and then I just felt so tired and so strung out. So what's changed? After that, the next day, I was offered some, and I said no, thank you. And I was offered some again, and I said no, thank you. Well, people didn't seem to understand why I didn't want it. The reason I didn't want it was because I thought it made me feel lousy. People who smoke weed smoke it because they like the way it feels. But if I liked the way it felt, I would still be smoking it probably. The reason I smoked it was because I thought it would make me feel good. The reason I stopped smoking it is because I thought it made me feel worse. But what is the nature of marijuana? It's cunning, baffling, and powerful. It's sort of like a sleight of the hand magician. It's there to soothe and to shock and to add another layer to life. So what keeps drawing me in is that forgetfulness that seems to happen after I've gotten a few weeks clean or a few months clean. I start thinking, maybe that would make me feel better than this. Whereas when I am just coming off of a relapse, I'm thinking that felt lousy. Wow, recovery feels good. But I hope that I don't sound to you like I'm just making excuses to relapse. I'm trying to describe the subtle nature of addiction, the baffling aspect of it, whereas a person can be in good health, thinking about going back to work, uh, really excelling at life and thinking, oh, I could feel a little bit better if I smoked that. But the thing is what's changed since I stopped smoking weed? Well, I'm still associating with the same people a lot of the time, And it's like the weed's still there, but we're able to connect about things other than the pot. We're able to play games of pool. We're able to have conversations. We're able to bond and connect. But there is some sort of difference there, right? Whereas it's just a habit, But for them, it's a habit that they value highly, and for me, it's a habit that I gotta try not to speak too derogatory about it or negatively about it, because that would just annoy them, because they think they're onto a good thing, Whereas so I think I've covered all the questions I wanted to. What is the nature of relapse? Well, what causes a relapse? Why did I relapse? When does a relapse start? What does what's the second day of doing it like? Whereas the second day was like I wanted to get high so bad to pick up again. When I was coming down, I felt awful, and I just remembered not ever wanting to feel that out of control again, to have a desire to have a drug to make me feel okay, rather than me being able to enjoy life on life's terms. I felt like when I use a drug, I'm living life on the drug's terms, and when I was high, nothing was ever really enough. It was hard to be satisfied. I was consuming all these energy drinks. And when I got clean again, I stopped going to the store. I went back to drinking pop. I started saving money, but when I was high, I just would shop and buy, and no matter how much I got, it always felt like more would be better, rather than to sit back and conserve and save, which is easier to do when you've come down and you're at a more sane, less manic way of living. So I I I hope I've described accurately the difference between a daily pot user and a addict who was trying to stay clean, who had a relapse and recommitted to recovery.